Hi and hello. I enjoyed that thoroughly. My name is Patrick. This is a Hierofish. Welcome in. This may look familiar to you, potentially. That's right, folks. I didn't touch anything intentionally. I tried not to touch it. I ate the little food I had to eat. I watched a little bit of Bob's Burgers with my food. It is a show that I enjoy. They were talking about some plankton. Give me one moment because I accidentally. So when I use OBS, sometimes I click the go live button a little prematurely, and when I do that, it cancels out the video. And so I just want to make sure that old one isn't just like floating somewhere or something. Oh my gosh. And who, pray tell you? Okay, so let's get into this. Now, this card I'm actually going to save because that's what we're going to pull around. And I'm actually feeling led to do this one a little bit different. A slight bit differently. Because with the feminine, it is dark aspected. It is a receptive. But the masculine is expressive. So I think I may actually take this as more aligned masculine energy and this as lesser aligned masculine energy. Just because like this would be more feminine and this would be more masculine. When it comes to masculine energy, it is the light, so that's like a shining, right? Instead of absorbing and holding. So the cards that came out, these are all upright, but I'm going to note that these two are in reverse. Emergence, number 11, and number 37, the Guardians. Shielding, defense, and warning is the Guardians. Creating, resurrection, and magician is emergence. And they were both in reverse. And again, just noting it, over here, both of these are, the sacral is upright, but the inspirational creation was in reverse. Number 24, alchemy, the elements, and innovation is inspirational creation. Number 34, sacral portal, creativity, intimacy, and inhibition. So we got all creative over here, and then we got the Guardians with emergence over here. Actually, there's lots of creation and emergence, creation and inspirational creation, and then the whole sacral portal, and then we have the Guardians. So something about a divine pause, I feel. But we'll see. I don't know why I'm shuffling these, but for funsies, I guess I will. Just to, I don't know, to do what? Who knows? So I'm going to do this just like I did the last one. The only difference is we're going to be flip-flopping sides. Okay. Oh, I'm a little warm. I'm digesting my food, I guess. Warm up that belly. So, oneness is, again, balance, patience, and divine masculine. So divine masculine is going to be the anchor, the emperor energy. And then we have balance and patience. Now, temperance is going to be the card. But is temperance going to be patience? Or is temperance going to be balance? Well, if I make temperance balance, I don't know what I would use for patience in the minors. And for balance, I could do the Two of Pentacles. Or I could do the Six of Pentacles, right? That's also balanced. For patience, what's the weight in minor? Like the Four of Swords? But this is masculine energy. So when it comes to balance and masculine energy, I'm almost getting a strength vibe. Because it's the lady holding the lion, right? Instead of just like temperance. Straight up. This is gonna take me a second. This is number 30. Can I like flip a coin or something? Well, either way, I wouldn't have anything in a minor for patience. So patience could also be the strength card, the lady and the lion. Like, not yet. We're gonna go temperance for patience. For balance, we're gonna go with the two of coins. Right? And then the anchor for divine masculine. Yep, okay. I mean, it's the middle anyway, so the cards coming out around it will still clarify it. So we're gonna give this 3. Just because, you know, I just use these. And I did shuffle them before, but it don't hurt. So give it a little extra shuffle. Almost had a little ring in my ear. Looking for the balance. Do I want the 2 of pentacles? Yeah. Okay. Looking for the 2 of coins. Why are you... Oh, they're all in reverse. Okay, I was like, wait. The ruler of swords and the ruler of wands are the first 2 cards out with the chariot. Interesting. I don't know if y'all will be able to see these, but interesting, right? Cute. Work. Looking for the 2 of coins. The 2 of coins. The 2 of coins. The 6 of coins is in reverse. Definitely not that one. Maybe that was confirmation for me that I chose right. Oh, girl. Why are some of these in reverse? These were just all right. The 5 of wands. 2 of cups. Okay, maybe it was just those few in reverse. 2 of wands. No, because here's another one. Girl, I guess I misshuffled. 2 of swords, so the next 2 has to be the 2 of coins, right? But it's like that many cards weren't even in reverse, though. So maybe I just put them back in the deck reversed. I think that's what I did. Oh, there we go. 2 of coins. And we're good on... This is supposed to be more integrated masculine energy. We may have to test that theory a little bit, because I saw them cards. Well, honestly, when it comes to masculine energy, it hasn't been necessarily healed or balanced. So it could make sense that when it comes to masculine energy, balance is a little off right now. But still, that's supposed to be maybe the space. We'll see. We'll see what it feels like when I get to it. Enough with your preconceptions. I really was going to do this tomorrow, but it came out. So I was like, you know what? Work. Why not? Now at the bottom we got, is this a seeker? The Sovereign of Wands. Ooh. With the Sovereign of Coins. So over here we have the Ruler of Swords and the Ruler of Wands at the bottom. The Kings. And now we have the Sovereign of Wands and the Sovereign of Coins at the bottom. These sovereigns is confirming for me this is the feminine side. So I did it right. And these being the masculine, it came out with ruler. So another confirmation. Thank you. It's like, you know, sometimes you don't need it, but it's good to have it anyway. Because I was already going to do this, but it's good to have it anyway. Real and scary. That song popped into my head last night. I ain't watched the Fairly Odd Parents in a minute. Real and scary. When Timmy wished that the Halloween costumes were like real, I'm like, girl, I'm Bull E. Or whatever he said. Now we're going to be looking for temperance. And that is not an even cut. That's fine. Come on. Come on, shake it. Shake it. That was better. Look at that 3 of coins at the front again. Oh, that was lovely. Four cut. We're looking for... How do these keep ending up in reverse? Looking for the anchor this time. And again, I'm going to timestamp in the description box. And then later in the comments, the time that this was finished. Looking for the pillar. You'll never see it coming. The anchor. Why did I say the pillar? We're looking for the anchor. Don't think. Ooh. How did I have another card in reverse? I thought I just... Oh, I guess I didn't make it through the whole deck, so maybe that's why. And then there's the anchor. Ooh, I'm kind of sort of loving this energy. And that's actually along the lines of what I was feeling for what aligned Divine Masculine energy could be. But that's patience. Oh, I just did that wrong. I did that wrong. Are we keeping it? We're keeping it. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. We're not. Okay, we're going to note it, but we're going to put it back. So the Seven of Wands and the Ruler of Cups just came out. The Seven of Wands and the Ruler of Cups. That's the King of Cups and the Seven of Wands energy. Now here in the Seven of Wands, we have 2 wands crossed at the top that are giving off this brilliant light, and then 5 wands at the bottom, sort of standing there, watching. See if y'all can see them in there somewhere, kind of. And then the Ruler of Cups is the energy of the King of Cups. And we see the Ruler of Cups a lot. So I haven't come across it yet. So we're still looking for Temperance. And we'll see if those 2 cards come out together or something. I don't know. See, I caught it this time. Yeah, because there was a title card. I was like, why am I looking for the anchor? Hello, this is about balance. Because I thought, like, balance, and then I was like, wait, the anchor for balance? Yeah, that's not right. Wow! The Ruler of Swords and the Ruler of Wands are together. So it's the anchor, and then strength, and then the Rulers of Swords and Wands. And so the Ruler of Cups would have been pretty close to those 2 at the same time. Interesting! I love that noise. I love that sound. There, I was like, where's Temperance? Hello? Oh, okay. This is the energy of patience. All right. I need to. Oh, I thought I had like 5 cards up there. It felt a little thick. I need to get up in this good girl. My name is Alyssa. No tea, no shade. My name is Alyssa. No tea, no shade. Girl, I am gagging. There we go. I need to. Now it's like unbalanced, but on the other side. Okay. Let me fix my posture a little bit. And it was like a 4 cut. Looking for that Temperance. The Magi and the Anchor are the top 2. Or the bottom 2, I guess, of the deck. And then there's the Pillar. Hold up. No. This is wrong. Girl. This ain't right. We're putting this at the top. The 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Coins for this one. I can't get a mate. Oh, we doing this all over. Girl. Oh, wait, are we? Well, let's decide if we're doing this all over. We are going to do it all over, but we're going to look at what this is now. I don't know where my brain is. That's why I was like, let me sit up straight. And that's why it's like, wait, something ain't right. So what we initially had is the Tower and the 8 of Swords when it comes to balanced divine masculine energy. The Tower in the Eight of Swords is like it's been trapped, but the Tower in the Eight of Swords is sort of breaking the illusions of power, right? When it comes to balance, it's about no longer seeing masculine energy as above feminine energy, but that would disrupt a lot of the ways of being and a lot of the systems that have come to be in a lot of places in the world right now, and that's why it's related to this Tower energy. But in order for us to get a clarity of vision, it's important that we do that, right? And then over here, lesser balanced energy actually came out as Justice and the Seeker of Swords. But with Justice and the Seeker of Swords, I feel like that's sort of like trying to maintain the status quo as it is. The Seeker of Swords, it is brand new information that hasn't been done yet, or not necessarily it's Page of Swords energy, but it's also not mature. And the version of masculine energy that we have running rampant on the planet right now is very immature. It just is. And it's an energy that doesn't like to be questioned. It doesn't hold up in a court of law. It's like it doesn't want to be inspected or questioned because it knows that it isn't what it says, it isn't what it makes itself out to be. So before I shuffle these, we are going to do this properly. So the major is the anchor for divine masculine, hands down. Now we have balanced and we have patience. We need a court card and a minor. So the court card for patience, oh, Knight of Sovereign of Coins, Conqueror of Coins, Knight of Coins for patience, duh. But then I don't want to have two Earths. So balance, does the Two of Swords work for balance? What about swords? What about wands? What about wands? It's the Two of Pentacles. So I'm going to go Two of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and the Emperor for this masculine energy. It is oneness, though. So it makes sense that it's a little more feminine. Especially when it comes to balance and patience. Patience could be the Four of Swords. And then balance, I don't know what court energy I would put on balance, because the Queen of Swords doesn't, it's like when it comes to justice, sure, but I wouldn't necessarily call her balanced or patient. The Queen of Pentacles could be patient, but that's, we already got like Pentacles energy as patient. When it comes to balance, I'm not necessarily feeling the Cup energy either. 2, no, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 of Pentacles could also be patience, but no. 8 of Cups, no. 9, no. 10, no. Wands, Ace, that's in with the courts. 2. Not necessarily. Yeah, we're going to go Two of Pentacles and the Two of Coins, the Knight of Coins, and then the Anchor. It just is what it is. And we can have any energy that comes out around it, right? Those are just the significators that I'm looking around. So we'll do 2 shuffles this time instead of 3. 2 shuffles and 2 cuts. A 3 cut. Oops. Ooh, who was you? Trying to stand out above the crowd. Oh, it's the world. Okay. And then we'll do a 2 cut. And let's see. So, bottom of the deck now is the Ace of Wands. I knew something was off. So we're looking for the 2 of Coins again. Even though we just had the 2 of Coins. That's why I was like, wait. And I was like, no, we'll just start all over anyway. So the 2 of Coins. I love that noise. I know I've said that before, but I do. Y'all like that? I'm an ASMR channel now. Work! Love it! And this is coming out for balance. This is literally perfect. Okay. Now this we're feeling like we were getting progressively closer and closer and closer. Just like divine masculine energy. Getting closer and closer to being, healthy and actually what it is. Just like masculine energy and divine masculine energy. Instead of this toxic, overbearing, warmongering, bloodthirsty masculine energy that's very insecure. Let's see. Okay. Over here we have the Hanged One at the bottom. I don't wanna wait and think for your love, 'cause it's summer is here, and I'm still waiting there. Winter is here, and I'm still waiting there. Ooh, girl, is it feasible? I wanna know now, for I to knock some more tears in my sperm, tears in my sperm. While I'm girl, and then she comes out, and I was seeing her a lot in the other deck, so that 3 of coins came out. Okay, I'm sure I got 3 or 2 cards this time. I don't know what happened last time. Alright, so now we're going to be looking for the Conqueror of Coins for patience. I think I watched The Secret, and there was this dude that kept calling his son Honey, and I was so not accustomed to that it just sounded so weird. And I don't know why that's coming to mind now, but I think divine masculine energy is a little softer, or a lot softer, than the toxic masculine energy that we've sort of seen. And it is a lot more patient. And I feel like there are some qualities that we attribute to femininity. I was going to say feminines and femininity. But they may, like, when it's divine, it should be mirrored on both sides. Like, compassion should be both sides, right? Patience can be both sides, right? Because it's divine. So it's rooted in love. Love is passionate. Love is patient and compassionate. Girl. It's like, just stick to the cards, bruh. Okay, now I'm looking for the Conqueror of Coins. Conqueror of Cups. I haven't seen the Conquerors too much, honestly. I think I've gotten like 1 or 2 of them. I feel like I've gotten Seekers. The Seeker of Coins I've seen a few times. The Seeker of Wands I've seen a few times. The Seeker of Cups, kind of. The Seeker of Swords at least once. The Rulers I see. The Sovereigns I've seen. But when it comes to the Conquerors, I feel like I've only gotten like 1. And it was the Conqueror of Coins that came out with the Sovereign of Coins the other day on my Legacy channel. Why do these be so close to the top of the deck? I'm like paranoid that I missed it. I did miss it. Okay, let's look again. Well, we're actually going to give it another shuffle. That's what happens when you miss it. You give it another shuffle. Sometimes in life, we got to give it another shuffle. You know? Now the 9 of Swords is at the bottom. Let's try this again. Again, timestamp will be in the description box. Description box, yes. Sovereign of Wands. Wait, did he already come out and I didn't notice it? Girl, if he did, work. What am I gonna do if he already came out? We gonna substitute, or are we gonna go for that temperance? This has been the theme, girl. No, here he is. Okay. No, that's the sovereign. That's the sovereign. Don't tell me he came out and I didn't even. Okay, so I can't go for temperance either because temperance already came out. So we're gonna leave this we're gonna leave the space blank over here. And honestly, I don't. Yeah, cause can I do this? Yep. Okay. Cause it's like I don't know, like we haven't seen this, or we haven't really given much. I feel like the most attention that divine masculine energy gets, or that proper masculine energy gets, I feel like it's very sort of like I don't know, overlooked in a way. And a lot of times we look at divine masculine, it's like, oh, divine masculine is behind the feminine, and he doing this and he doing that. And it's not to say that that isn't the case, but we need to separate the energy from the person sometimes. Okay. Girl, I don't know. This will be real interesting. So we're looking for the Conqueror of Coins. I was like, I'm pretty sure like I shouldn't have missed it. And then I was like, girl. And then Temperance came out too. So I was like, I have nothing to look for patience. What's the minor temperance energy? Let me actually think about this for a second. Girl, we're not starting all over again. Start all over again. No. No. We're gonna work through this. It's like just skip it, but I can't just leave a hole. I mean, I guess I can. I'm about to, so yeah, we'll see. And now we're looking for the anchor. First card at the bottom is the Seeker of Swords. Where the anchor at? I can't believe that happened. I got both of the cards. The Ruler of Swords and the Ruler of Wands are still together. That's masculine energy. The World. There he is. The anchor. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So at the bottom of the deck is going to be the Seeker of Swords. The Seeker of Truth. I guess I can show it. This is the Seeker of Swords, if you can see it. Maybe not. Let's try down here if you can see it. Maybe not. It's the Seeker of Swords. What is going on with this? It's like divine masculine energy is like, no, shh, don't tell. But I'm like, bruh, you like literally came out and I was gonna do this tomorrow, so we're doing this. Ready or not, we're doing this. It's like it has performance anxiety. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't like been actually like, present in any kind of impactful way for a very long time. What if people are disappointed in what divine masculine energy actually is? It's like, you'll be fine. Bottom of the deck over here is the Nine of Swords. So, hey, with the Two of Cups right behind it, and the World, and the Star, and the Devil, okay, and the Sovereign of Cups, and the Hermit, and the Wheel of Fortune, with that Five of Wands, into the Ruler of Swords and the Six of Wands. Alright, let's get that anchor. Oh, right there. Cool. Work. I thought it was going to be the Strength card, but there was actually a card behind Strength. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So last time it kind of sort of felt like there was a female or feminine energy that was lagging, right? Because of the bottoms of the deck. It was like the darker set was leading the lighter set, but the lighter set was right behind it. And we even started up here with the Hermit, and we ended down here with the Hermit, and we had two tens up here, and there was kind of sort of this whatever. Let me get this timestamp real quick. So 30 minutes and 30 seconds is what I'm going to say, because I still need to put it in my phone. 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Ooh, my Cody stocks. So, if you're tuning in here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Patrick. This is the Hierophant. You know, y'all know me probably by now if you're watching this. And if you don't know me, then nice to come across your purview, I guess. I don't know why this eye just started bothering me. But that's fine. So over here, what I did was I, just like with the feminine, I pulled, well, this one came out. We looked at the Magical Dimensions Oracle card and Illustrator. I'm going to read it from the book. For each aspect, there are 3 keywords on each card. I shuffle up the decks. I look at the card before and after, a card related to the keyword. This time we have Balance, Patience, and Divine Masculine. For Balance, I use the Two of Pentacles. For Patience, I use the Knight of Pentacles. And for the Divine Masculine, I use the Emperor or the Anchor, right? So over here, what happened was the Knight of Pentacles actually came out around the Two of Pentacles. And then I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll just use Temperance as Patience instead. Temperance came out around the Two of Pentacles. So there was no significator to pull on this side. Last time when I did the feminine, I used the darker set as the more aligned feminine energy and the lighter set as the less aligned feminine energy. This time I'm switching it up. So the lighter set is the more aligned feminine masculine energy, and the darker set is the less aligned masculine energy, because feminine energy is dark and receptive, masculine energy is light and expressive, radiant, right? So that's why the things have shifted the way that they have shifted. And let's get into a lay book now, shall we? And it's upside down. Number 30. Ooh, 24, almost there. This is the card. I'm not going to hold it up the whole time, but this is what it looks like in this camera. And this is what it looks like in this one. I kind of like it better over here. It's all about the challenges, new rivals. As you fight for survival, nothing can stop you. Diamond and Pearl Pokemon. Pokemon theme song just pop into my head sometimes. But it's all about the challenges. New rivals as you fight for survival, nothing can stop you. Right? But instead of like rivals, it's about realizing with this masculine energy, maybe that's like a relic. That's the death rattle. It's like the Rale d'Agony. I don't know French. That's the death rattle of old masculine energy. It's about the challenges and new rivals as you fight for survival, dominion, dominance, right? That's all divine masculine. Not even divine masculine. That's old masculine energy. Over here, we'll see what it's about. I like that. Okay, so oneness. Let me make sure I get an angle so I can actually read. The celestial interpretation. Oneness resonates to the perfect balance between Earth Mother's love and Father Sky's passion. This blessed ray is attuned to the inner soul's yearning to return to divine masculine energy. To return to divine masculine energy, balance, and integration, and its longing for restoration, passion, and assertiveness. This marks the beginning of the journey home. Oh, my eye. I don't know what's up with my left eye. Of the journey home, and the balance of yang energies can once again return to its rightful state of perfection. Oh, okay. It's kind of sort of hard to read at the cut. Maybe if I do this. That's a little easier to read, but I'm further from the camera. The Oracle interpretation. Regardless if you're in a male or female body, this card suggests the need to be balanced. The need to balance the divine masculine aspects within yourself, and reconnect to spirit and divine unity. Recall the strength within, and your quiet power will restore you. Recall the strength within, and your quiet power will restore you. Regain your confidence and quell the restlessness back to peaceful coexistence with all. Your situation requires expanding and expressing from the core connection within yourself and spirit. The companion crystals are Larimar and red jasper. The companion essential oil is vetiver. I don't know what that is. I think red jasper is good for the root too, which is interesting. Which I guess makes sense. Would divine masculine be the root and divine feminine be the crown with the heart in between? Even though we typically look at the solar plexus as that masculine and the sacral as that feminine, then the heart would be both, and then the root could be masculine and the crown could be feminine, and the throat could be masculine and the third eye could be feminine. Since the throat is about expressing and the third eye is about seeing, receiving the truth visually. I don't know. And then the heart is like both. Okay, so that's what we got. I kind of sort of struggled through it a little bit and I already forgot what it was. But it's about returning to this balance between the yin and the yang. It's about scaling back the yang so it's not over the yin energy. So it's not doing that. You know what I mean? All right, let's get into this. So when it comes to balance, we have temperance and we also have the Knight of Coins. Now this is interesting. With the Knight of Coins, we have one coin with the root system, which is about growth and... Oh, wow, there's a lot in this. We have the Crescent Moon. It looks like we potentially have 8 wands that meet at a single point. We have a sword, and then the coin. There's this halo, and there's this line up here that closes the triangle into the glyph of water. Let's see. I don't even know. Ooh, yeah, y'all can kind of sort of see that. Right? The sword, the coin with the roots in it. We see the 8 rods with the single line up there. The rods kind of sort of giving me a wandsy type feel with this moon. But it's like this coin, the shadow of this coin is what's eclipsing this sun or this moon. I'm going to say that's actually a sun energy. I'm going to say the coin is eclipsing the sun. But that almost feels like it would be past energy. But let's look at it. So the 8 of Wands it's an energy of celerity. It's an energy of quickness. Communication or action is very swift. And it can also be very blunt and to the point, I guess. If it's that quick, right? It's not going to beat around the bush. It's not going to like lying in ambush waiting to jump out and like 15 different things are going to beat up on you. It's to the point, right? Some people may call it a sucker punch, but you should have seen it coming. Then we also have the sword. The sword is about truth, and it's also about communication. So this is swift, but it's also truthful. Swords divide and separate. It's about cutting to the truth. And it's about seeing the truth of the potential of what abundance can do for us. because on the coin is a root system. So it's all about establishing and building a community, right? And then we also have the Temperance card. On the Temperance card is a set of wings. Is that same sort of wandy looking thing, but they're thicker. So it's like this Four of Wands energy. Crowning the Four of Wands are three third eyes, all looking upwards. And this little shiny thing. In the middle, we have a wand. Ooh. There's a cup with a glyph of fire. And there's fire coming out of the cup. So that's the balance between the water and the fire. We have two hands that have some sacred geometry on them. And again, this portal, this gateway, this mandorla, adorned with wings, which is about swift movement, youthful energy, and innocence, the wings in this deck. And there's something about these like solid gold rods in both of these. I don't know if y'all will be able to see these. Ow. Oh, goodness. Ow. Oh, that just like came in real quick, just like a pain, like right over here. I'm like, girl, when I'm trying to show this, there's something about the solid gold rods, and then I'm like, oh. Okay, girl, let's get into it. We don't let a little crown trouble stop us over here. We just open up. Something about the solid gold rod speaks to divine inheritance, and it's a divine inheritance of will. And will is a very masculine thing. We have a glyph for fire on the cup of water. I mean, it's a cup of flame. There's fire coming out of the cup. Maybe there's oil in the cup. But then we have the glyph for water between this divine inheritance and this line, the ecliptic of the sun. And I'm not sure if that's what an ecliptic is, but that's how I'm feeling it. And it's almost like this energy it's like barely crossing this line. But it would be dropping down into it because the downward pointing triangle is a vessel. And y'all can't even really see these, but maybe y'all can actually. Yeah. See, you see the downward pointing triangle with those rods on the side, and that little line right above the solid gold or the solid plated sun or whatever. It's like it's dropping down into this vessel so that we can understand the truth of it and hold it in place. Where we can hold this masculine energy in the bosom of feminine energy and not have one necessarily consume the other. It's almost like if we're talking about like Gundam, didn't really watch it, or Pacific Rim, didn't watch it, or Transformers, maybe. No, not Transformers, didn't watch that either. But it's like the divine feminine energy is like the robot suit, and then the masculine energy is the pilot inside of the robot suit. And I know that typically we may think of it as like different or otherwise, but that's how I'm feeling it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like this masculine energy is supposed to sort of give a structure or the framework for feminine energy to fill, right? It's like the masculine energy would be the architect, and then the interior designer would be the feminine energy. But if we invert that, then the architect would be the masculine energy, and the exterior designer, the landscapist, the landscape artist, would be the feminine energy. And so it's like feminine energy is both inside and outside of masculine energy. But why would this coin be in front of the sun instead of in front of the moon? But the sun is dropping behind this. What perspective are we looking at this from? Is the question. Girl, I don't know where we're going today, but we're trying to get there. We're going to get there. Not trying. We're going to get there. It's like, what perspective are you looking at it from? Because if you're looking at it from your perspective, then the moon would be eclipsing the sun. But if you look at it from the sun's perspective, then the moon would be blocking its view of the earth. Partially, because the moon is like tiny compared to the earth. But when it's that far, maybe it makes a difference. I don't know. And we're supposed to be taking the perspective of the sun because this is about masculine energy. And so, also with the eclipse, there's a side of the coin that we don't see. And the side of the coin that we don't see is the side that faces the sun. It almost feels like it's projecting, like there's this facade of what the energy is. But with the sun dropping behind it, it's almost like if you have a piece of paper and you hold it up to the light and you can see something that is like written on the back of it or something like that. It's like that. When we hold it up to the light, it reveals something that was otherwise unseen. And this is all about balance, right? And also patience. Balance and patience on this side are one and the same. And maybe it's the impatience of masculine energy that would have it rush feminine energy. It's almost like one of those old school kings, right? Like King Henry VIII. I don't know if it was him. The king who like had like 15 different wives and who wanted a divorce because his wives weren't giving him sons and he wanted sons. Back before we knew that it was the man who determines the sex or the gender of the kid at birth, right? Because women only have X's to give and men have X's and Y's. So if this baby ain't got no Y, it's your fault, not mine. But there's this lack of patience that would almost have this man sort of impregnate multiple women at once. And not that there's anything necessarily inherently wrong with that. But there's this energy that would like impregnate multiple women at once to see if any of them gave him sons. And it's like he had 5 wives that would never give him a son. And he was like, you know what? I'm getting older. I can't sit around and wait 9 months and then wait another 9 months and then wait another 9 months and find somebody else and find somebody else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of these girls pregnant at once. And since my odds are so dismally low, at least one of them has to give me a son. Now, turns out, every single woman gives him a son. And so now comes the question of, and he impregnated them all at the same time. They all give birth at around the same time. Which of these sons is the truest heir to the throne? And what happens to all the other sons? What happens to their mothers now that he has a son? It's all of this energy, all of these things that we don't necessarily think about when we're just in that go, 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 go mode, right? We don't necessarily think of the repercussions and the consequences, and we don't necessarily have these contingency plans and things like that in line. It tends to go overboard. And so that's why patience and balance are one and the same. I feel like I didn't complete that thought, but that leads me because it's like that's partially the reason why, not the reason why, but that's one of the detriments of like a healthier masculine energy is that sense of entitlement. Because it seems like even some folks who would be otherwise not that toxic of masculine they still feel some kind of entitlement because of the environments that they grew up in, the media that they consumed, and what they feel led to sort of have, right? But with temperance, it's time to bring all of that into balance. And even in this temperance card, we have the fire in the cup, right? We have the fire in the womb, the masculine in the womb of the feminine. And with all these third eyes sort of crowning this, I don't even know if y'all can see it, but with all the third eyes crowning that, you can kind of see it. It's about holding respect for each voice. And it's not about being the loudest, and it's not about being right. This more aligned masculine energy. And that's more of the balance. I feel like there's a lot of like ego to the point where like we always have to be right, and whenever we come to discover that we're wrong, instead of owning up to that, we get louder and we double down even when we know we're in the wrong. This masculine energy is actually like, it's very nurturing and it's very patient and it's very, it feels very like Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wandsy, where it'll build you up, it'll hold you down, it'll support you. And again, it's like those are things that we typically attribute to feminine or femininity. Sometimes to know what it is, we should look at what it isn't. So let's come over here because that's like really interesting over there. So when it comes to balance over here, we have the Death card and we have the Three of Pentacles. Oof. Death and the Three of Pennies. Now, in the Three of Pentacles, we see a coin of fire, a coin of water, and a coin of air. And now we're in the Suit of Pentacles. So it's like there's some completion that we've already had. And so with this masculine energy over here, it's like, well, feminine energy needs to catch up. Feminine energy needs to step it up because I've already done everything I need to do. The Suit of Swords and the Suit of Wands are complete. Right? We got the Suit of Water, yeah, but if it doesn't actually make us money, then what is it good for? It's a very materialistic sort of point of view with this Three of Pentacles. It's like everything that we do is to increase abundance. Everything that we do is to get more money. Time is money, right? And with the Death card, it's like this energy needs to transform, but it's resisting it. There's also a compass here, like a drawing compass. And there's a rose in here as well. But then there's, oh my gosh. And then there's just this Death card. The thing about this Death card, though, to me, is if you look at it, both heads are sort of facing in the same direction. And both tails are in the same direction. And for some reason, I feel like they should be in opposite directions. This is it's like they're both competing for that rose up there. And they've tangled themselves up in this competition. So instead of, it's like when it comes to balance, what they should be doing is working together with that Three of Pentacles. But what they're actually doing is sort of twisting and contorting themselves amongst each other, trying to compete for whatever that is. And there's only one rose, but there's also a rose in this Three of Pentacles. Where if they work together, I don't know if, there it is. You can kind of sort of see it. Let's see if I hold it up here. Is this even the right card? Nope. You see that rose in the top of the Three of Pentacles? There's also a rose there. So if they work together, they could still get it. all-encompassing. Something is all-encompassing. Something is comprehensive. What is it? It's like it's a comprehensive package. Like it encompasses everything, right? It accounts for everything. It accommodates for everything. But this energy over here only accommodates for the self. Because also it's like those three pentacles exist within this masculine energy, this upward pointing triangle that is topped by the rose. But it's almost like whatever this is, it's not sharing what it already has. And so there is no balance here. There's no true balance here. There's like this mutual using type of energy, but that's not really a balance. Oh my gosh, Ark sent me a freaking snap the other night and I never replied. I feel bad. I forgot. He popped up on my mind too. Now when it comes to patience, we have the Six of Cups and the Sovereign of Wands. The Six of Cups and the Queen of Wands when it comes to patience. Now, I wouldn't say anything of Wands is a patient energy. Let's see. It's like I got one light on this side, another light on that side. So we can't necessarily fully... There we go. You can kind of sort of see it down here. I think that's the Sovereign of Wands. Or is that the Six of Cups? No, that's the Six of Cups. Here's the Sovereign of Wands. If y'all can see it, you can't even see it. There you go. You kind of see it a little bit up here. And Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is an energy of the past. Oh my gosh, there's a clock here. There's a watch here. When it comes to patience, we got a clock. That's a good sign. Now, the Sovereign of Wands has a lion on the heart of the crown, and it also has horns. It looks like there's constellations in this crown. I don't know why the lion has horns, honestly. Why are there horns on this lion? Is that necessary? And this wand almost looks like a sword because of where the crown is placed on it. It looks like there's a lion hilt on this wand that looks like a sword or a battle axe type of thing. You see like the wings on that? But the wings are actually horns. It's very stubborn. And it's kind of sort of self-serving. A little self-entitled. And then there's a Six of Cups here with time. So that's the energy of like, it's that instant gratification that I was kind of sort of talking about over here when it comes to patience and the lack thereof. Because it's like, I want this, and I want it yesterday with this Queen of Wands energy. And where it would have been told to wait, it's going out and it's going to get it anyway. Now, the thing about this energy, the thing about this impatience is that it goes into the past instead of going into the future. And when it goes into the past, more often than not, it takes from someone else. It takes what already is instead of devoting energy to creating what will be. It doesn't make its own. It takes. It's like that simple. When it comes to patience, this energy takes and this energy waits. That's why patience is the balance over here. Patience is the balance that masculine energy has been missing. It's like divine masculine, or the current masculine energy is very much the like divine timing is a myth. We make our own timing. And it's like partially true, but also partially false. So all of this energy together, since like all of this energy is together, if we put the balance and patience together up here, we have an energy that takes instead of creating its own, and it takes to the point of stripping life away from everything, right? Both of these snakes are entwining themselves trying to get to that rose. And it's like it's the rose is consumed in the process. Even in this 3 of Pentacles, like the rose is so like in the background while everything else is a little bit more prevalent, especially that upwards pointing triangle. And the upwards pointing triangle being symbolic of fire, it's about expressing and fulfilling its own needs, and it doesn't care about anything else. It's the fire that burns out all the vegetation, and fire can be purifying and cleansing, but if it burns and purifies everything, there's nothing to kindle the next fire. It has to leave something to grow, right? And there's nothing that this energy left over here to grow. Nothing left to build off of. Like scraps that are left to restore. And that speaks to a lot of what's been happening on this planet. It's a very self-serving, very selfish energy that is near insatiable. And so it leaves ruin in its wake. And over here, with the masculine sitting inside of the feminine, it's like using things in a very conscious and conscientious way. It's like utilizing renewable resources in balance. We're not over consuming it. What we consume can grow. Because with overconsumption comes loss, comes destruction. And that's what this energy is over here. It almost feels like a very traditional masculine energy here and a very modern masculine energy over here. Whereas if we look at some places in the world where it's like more chill and more laid back, and it's not about like go, 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 where the consumption of things is more conscious. And it's like, because I watched a few documentaries about ayahuasca and plant medicine in like January of last year, maybe December, maybe like February, back early in my spiritual days. And for me personally, I decided that it's not something that I wanted to do because I didn't want my spirituality to come from an external substance. I just didn't want that to be my path. And I'm a Pisces, and I already kind of sort of have an addictive personality, so it's like that's an addiction that I don't need to form, right? And even if it isn't necessarily bad for your health, it's still a pattern that I don't need to form. I don't need to develop a dependency on some third-party substance to get me to where I want to be. At least that was my thought, and that's been my sort of thing going ahead. I don't want to get too reliant on anything outside of myself. And that's partially some of the shadow that I had about dependency. Also partially it aligned with a piece of what I needed to do for me, right? That's just how I'm set up and wired. But in some of those, it was like before all of the Western exposure, these ceremonies were done and conducted in a way where the amount of resource used and the amount of resource available, there was a balance. But now that money is coming into the picture, now that this more modern and Western influence is coming to the picture, there's an over commodification. Is that the word I want? I think it is. There's this over commodification. There's this huge market, and now it's like it's being consumed to the point where it's like this is a natural plant. These are natural plants, right? They don't grow overnight. And now here's introduced this kind of sort of conflict where there didn't necessarily need to be one, right? There's no balance, there is no patience. And when there is no balance and no patience, it ruins things because things are cyclical. There are cycles and there are seasons. And in that season we use it in a quantity that, is manageable. And it's like it throws the cycles of nature off balance by trying to establish dominion over it. And that is kind of sort of like it oversteps its boundaries. It crosses over into the realm of the feminine. It makes demands on her that she can't reasonably, sort of keep up with. And if she can't, then it will find multiple. Um, it will seek to make synthetic. It will find other works around. And this is a very interesting sort of like line of thought for me, especially with the schooling that I've had. And I tend to be like, I don't tend to question everything scientific, right? And I don't tend to demonize everything scientific and everything synthetic. Um, but I feel like it's just raising some questions internally. And it's like there are some things that I didn't necessarily question. And I'm not the type of person that feels I need to question everything just for the sake of questioning it. Um, it's like if something to me doesn't feel right, if something to me feels off, if something warrants questioning, then yeah, I question it and I look into it. Right. And even when it comes to a lot of the things that, I sit in class and I learn or that we talk about, or sat in class and learned and that we talked about, it still would raise some like kind of sort of ethical issues within me when I'm like, oh, that ain't right. That to me don't seem right. That to me don't seem right. And I personally wouldn't do that. But again, I don't know. That's kind of sort of what I'm getting with this. There is balance and patience because it works with feminine energy instead of working feminine energy to the bone, to the marrow, to her atoms, to dust. And then just picking up another feminine energy or two and not really valuing or appreciating any of it. It's just another thing to be made money off of. Um, Now, coming into the divine masculine, we have the Ace of Cups and the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords, what we got in here? We got three swords pointing down, impaling this poor little birdie. I think it go through both of the wings. No, it goes through the body. The wings are left untouched, and they're stitched together. The bird is resting on top of the third sword. Two of them are pointing downwards, one of them is pointing up. And this is interesting because on this side, I believe we actually have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, we do. And it's pointing upwards. And there's a laurel wreath around it symbolizing victory. All the sacred geometry that was on the hands of some card that might have been in the previous shuffle out. So it's like here we have this Ace of Swords. You can see the orientation going upwards, and we have that wreath around it and stuff like that. And then here we have that same Ace of Swords carrying the bird on top of it. You may not be able to see it, but there's a little birdie on top of that upwards pointing sword. It's resting on that sword, but it's been impaled by the other two. It's an energy of silencing, it feels like. And it blocks a truth that wants so desperately to be expressed. And there are also thorns on the hilts of these downward pointing swords. The thorns are like stuckness and binding and stuff like that. But it's almost like as this bird is pierced and the thorns on these swords, it heals and it comes back together. It almost feels like a very Promethean energy, honestly. It feels like a very Promethean energy. Prometheus was the god that was punished for giving fire to man. It was Prometheus and Epimetheus. What did Epimetheus do, though? I don't know. Well, hey Siri, who was Epimetheus?
Evan Bradley Mathis is a former American
Girl,
football offensive guard
who is Evan Bradley Mathis? I don't want to say don't nobody care, but it was Prometheus and like Epimetheus, right? Let me see. Epimetheus. Yeah, Epimetheus. Let's see, I'm going to invert the color so I can read this real quick. In Greek mythology, Epimetheus, which might mean hindsight, literally after thinker, was the brother of Prometheus, traditionally interpreted as foresight, literally forethinker. A pair of titans, they were titans, okay, who acted as representatives of mankind. Ooh, okay. So it's the year of Epimetheus, 2020, hindsight, right? And that's the thing. I feel like that also fits in. There was a lot of stuff that we were doing in the past that it's like, are we capable of doing this? Yes, sure. Should we be doing this? Is what we should really be asking ourselves. Excuse me, and you think you have certain things contained, you're violating or testing all kinds of laws of nature and other things, and then it gets out and it causes havoc. Now, hindsight may be like, wow, maybe we shouldn't have done all that stuff that we did in the past, because then we wouldn't be facing what we're facing now. But again, this energy, this side of masculine energy, this lesser, I don't want to say evolved, this lesser integrated divine masculine energy has no foresight. It has no, like, the foresight of this divine masculine energy, the limit of that foresight is the fulfillment of its own selfish desires. It doesn't see the impacts that it makes. It doesn't see the costs. It doesn't see the prices. It only sees the fulfillment of its own selfish desires. And it's almost sort of just like that limited high priestess, or that limited priestess energy that came with unaligned divine feminine energy. It's like unaligned priestess energy doesn't see anything outside of its own field of view. Unaligned divine masculine energy doesn't see any ramifications or repercussions or consequences outside of whatever benefits it. And so something or someone has to come in behind it, right? And that's the afterthought, right? Where Prometheus is the before thought. And it's like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even thinking about that. You get fired a man. Now man is pillaging and burning down all kinds of stuff. Like, man wasn't ready for fire yet, my guy. We had it queued up when they reached a certain milestone, but since you wanted to give it to him early, now anything, it's like you take a part of their punishment for whatever acts and whatever crimes they commit with what you gave them. You will take part of their punishment because they were not yet ready for that. And that was getting his liver pecked out by the giant eagle every day. Since he was an immortal titan, it would grow back overnight. The next morning, the next day, it would come and peck it out again. And that's what he was subjected to until Heracles and Chiron and all that stuff that we talked about last Wednesday, right? But let's get back on Epimetheus. So, Prometheus, forethinker, a pair of titans who acted as representatives of mankind, who acted as how do you do that? Who acted as representatives of mankind? It's all in quotes. I don't know. They were the sons of Iapetus, who in other contexts was the father of Atlas, and we talked about Atlas. While Prometheus is characterized as ingenious and clever, Epimetheus is depicted as foolish. According to Plato's... Okay, wait. We may not have to go into all of this. Yeah, we ain't going into all of that. Epimetheus, the being in whom thought follows production, represents nature in the sense of materialism, according to which thought comes later than thoughtless bodies and their thoughtless motions. Epimetheus was the one who accepted the gift of Pandora from the gods. Their marriage may be inferred, and was by later authors, but it is not made explicit in either text. In later myths, the daughter of Epimetheus and Pandora was Pyrrha, who married Deucalion, a descendant of Prometheus. Together, they are the only two humans who survived the deluge. In some accounts, Epimetheus had another daughter, Metamelia, whose name means regret of what has occurred, for those that do not plan ahead and will only feel sorrow when calamity strikes. So that's where we're going to end it. Metamelia, or whatever. Metamelia. For those who don't think ahead, and suffer when calamity strikes. And that's very much this energy. So Epimetheus eventually took us somewhere. I knew he would. I guess I should know by now that things end up working out whenever I go on wild tangents. But that's the thing about this patience. The balance is the patience. And when the balance is the patience, when we have forethought and afterthought, when we have these complete thoughts instead of these partial thoughts that only sort of progress us to where we want to be, when we can incorporate everything else, we can more align with more sacred creation through more harmonious interactions with divine feminine energy. More harmonious, more self-sustaining interactions with divine feminine energy. Right? And so what was the other card we had over here? The Three of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Yeah, the Ace of Cups, it's the offer of this partnership. There are wings on this. Wings, again, are swift movement, young energy, and innocence in this deck. And these wings look like... these are feathered wings. So they're not butterfly wings this time. And I did say that, like, the wings of this bird aren't actually pierced. The body of the bird is pierced. The lower body of the bird is pierced. It's almost like the part of the body closest to the legs. So, like, the legs themselves aren't pierced, but around where the legs attach are pierced. And without legs, this bird it can't land. It can't stick. This energy can't ground itself because of all of the selfish action committed over here. And again, it's like healthy masculine energy can't even really get a foothold because it's like the toxic masculine energy will be like, right? It'll be like that. I don't have words, but it fights it. It doesn't give it anything to, like, there's nothing to ground it. But here we have wings on this Ace of Cups. A healthy divine feminine energy is gonna give it a space to live in. It's like it's gonna come in and form this symbiotic relationship with divine feminine energy because it realizes that it can't really take root or do anything without it. It's like it's time for these two halves to become whole again. It's been much too long that they've been apart, and that whatever this foolishness is has been allowed and permitted to be. Now, this unaligned divine masculine energy, again, we have the Conqueror of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So we have the Ace of Swords over here, or the Ace of Cups over here, with the Conqueror of Cups over here. So, just like I said, so here's this, up here, here's this healthy cooperative partnership with divine feminine energy that toxic masculinity knows that divine masculinity is capable of, but it covets that. And it's like, since divine feminine energy isn't giving it what it would give divine masculine energy, he abuses her and he locks her up and he mistreats her because she's not cooperative. She's the Cersei Lannister. And I don't watch Game of Thrones. All I know is I think it was Cersei Lannister who made that walk of however long it was, right? It's like she's not going to just cooperate because you said. She's got too much of a backbone. Divine feminine energy down here was worth. I'm not going to willingly cooperate with anything or anyone that is below what I'm worth. I don't care who you are or what you sort of try to leverage against me. It's not going to happen. And then so he would see her Eight of Swords locked away, try to convince her or delude her into like tearing down her sense of worth to eventually come in and work with it. And after enough time, there are some physical sort of incarnations that would hold a piece of that energy who would have a sense of worth low enough to, and it's not low enough, because again, I don't want to put any judgment on anybody, but it's like where you'll begin to give this divine energy to an energy that does not reciprocate or, to an energy that does not reciprocate it, to an energy that does not fully align with it, that will hold you down and weigh you down. And this is like this, we pulled the anchor, right? The shadow side of that anchor energy is something that will hold something else down, something that will dampen it, will bog it down, and will hamper its ability to do things. Where the light of that anchor energy is like it's grounded, it's weighted, it's supported, it connects you to the earth. It gives you a ground to stand on. It is the ground beneath your feet, so you always feel grounded, right? It's like the pillar will lift you up and the anchor will hold you down, but it's not holding you back, right? It's the natural force of gravity that keeps you from floating up into the sky, right? Let's be practical, dear. Like, this is a brilliant idea, but how do we package this in a way that we maintain the integrity of the vision, but also make it enticing to others? How do we simplify this to the point where more people can understand, so there's like a gateway to come into the realm of your limitless knowing priestess, right? This is the hierophant to the priestess. How do we sort of convey this in a way that the common folk can understand, so that they have a sort of a stepping stone, a gateway into this deeper knowledge that you hold? It's like, how do we, again, maintain the integrity, maintain the vision, but put it in a way that's accessible? That's the light of anchor energy. And so over here, with the Conqueror of Cups, it would seek to take what this energy wouldn't give it. And with this Ace of Swords and the Conqueror of Cups, it's like, that's the control of information. Again, it's hindered the feminine energy's ability to connect to its own divinity, and it forced itself upon her and convinced her that she wanted it. And with this Conqueror, it sought to take what was rightfully given over here. And then it's like, this toxic masculine energy knows more about divine feminine energy than the feminine energy knows its own divinity. And also, it limits masculine energy from knowing or experiencing anything outside of its toxic brand of this masculinity. It effectively tried to strip the divinity from both the feminine and the masculine, and to set itself on top of everything. And that's not cool. And that's everything I got. So, it's like, it's interesting though, because it's like, it feels like there's this very, very sort of taking, pillaging, plundering, entitlement, and self-focus over here. But when it came to the feminine energy, there was also an entitlement. But if that would have been the masculine side of feminine energy, then it would have been picking up more on the toxic side. I don't know. This is what this energy is, y'all. I feel like divine masculine energy is kind of sort of quiet. It's kind of sort of muted, honestly. But divine masculine energy doesn't need to be the loudest to get its point across. Divine masculine energy can know that it's right, lead you to the point of making a fool of yourself, where you get all out and you know you're wrong and everybody knows you're wrong. But divine masculine energy is just, that's when it goes quiet. And then that toxic masculine energy, after it's revved up, it can't handle another energy just going quiet. It must keep talking. It's like a troll, right? And like I said in that video, you can't always fight fire with fire. Troll, there is no, like, if you're giving any attention to troll energy, it's winning. Sometimes you just gotta let it burn itself out. But that toxic masculine energy has been kind of sort of toxic. It's been deadly. It stripped so much life and culture and so much of everything from this planet and from its people. And it just completely diluted them into believing in the vision that it would sell. And it knows that it's a far cry from true divinity. It knows that. But again, it will do our best. It will do its best to make sure that we don't know that. So we're going to give these a few shuffles up, and then I am going to get the final messages. I actually kind of sort of like this. So I guess depending on what the card is, I'll see which one is more aligned to that energy and which one is less aligned to that energy. And then we'll do it tomorrow. Even though these are a little longer, but that's fine. I usually get out of bed by like 10, and then I have 2 hours to just like, enjoy my time. And then by noon, I get to work. Obviously today we're shifting things a little bit. Today's sort of a rest day, but I'm still going to work and see if I can get, because now I know what to do. I'm going to see if I can go in and do it. So, when it comes to the magical dimensions, oracle cards, and activators, let's see what we get. Now, we didn't do this at the end of the feminine video because it gave us the masculine intro, so it may be a little longer there, but that's fine, darlings. Okay. One card, please. One card, please. Just one. Okay. Who this? Transformation, number 41. This is metamorphosis, synchronicity, and the unexpected. Unexpected unions of divine masculine and divine feminine energy that is going to come in. It's like on a frequency level, it's going to blow a hole through it. And it's like it's going to blow a hole through the shroud. And it's going to create this channel of pure divine energy and love and stuff like that to come down. And it's a channel so pure that nothing outside of its range of frequency can interrupt it or enter the stream. It can't be diluted. Right? And it's like that's why so many are kind of sort of waking up all over to create these portals and to widen it by resonating at that frequency. And it's going to give way for so much transformation. And toxic masculine energy is going to be mad. It's going to be so mad. Because it knows. Toxic masculine energy knows exactly what would happen when masculine and feminine energy elevate themselves into their divinity and then come together. And it's something that it could never get from feminine energy. Because it's like divine feminine energy doesn't cooperate with it. It just doesn't. And so again, like that's why worth was kind of sort of the last thing out. If we're not in our worth and if we're not operating from our worth, it's like this automatic separation from our divinity. So even if toxic masculine energy could convince someone close to their divinity in their femininity, their divine femininity, when it begins to collaborate with him, it lowers its own divinity because it has to lower its frequency to cooperate and engage and interact with an energy that isn't at that level. And it's like divine femininity and divine masculine energy call out the best in each other when they resonate together stronger than they do apart. And there's something about the coherence between the energies that get it to resonate. It's not that you need someone else to be all of who you are, but it's that coherence and that resonance that amplifies and strengthens things. And it only does that with like frequencies. And toxic masculinity is not a like frequency to divine feminine energy. So it can't get that out of her. And it knows that. But toxic masculine energy is very much that if I can't have it, no one can. So that's why we get this transformation. With all these lovely colors and that light at her crown. Bottom of the deck is this the promise? Oh no, it's exiled. Oh, sorry, it's exiled. Bye. See ya. I hope you had fun while you were here. Just, kind of sort of ruining everyone's life and their experience. But that's fine. Because of you, we have an appreciation that we wouldn't have had without you, right? So, sorry, not sorry. So you wouldn't want to be you. Don't call, don't text. I'm done. Thanks. Bye. Okay. I love that. So let's get in over here with my feminine. Does divine feminine energy want to come out and say something? Or is toxic masculine energy going to do that thing that it does sometimes, a lot of the times, and just try to come in and give out its last message? It's that Rale Dagny. I don't know how to pronounce it, but let me see. I'm going to ask Siri. Because I was looking up something, and it said, like, death rattle. And this was last night. I was like, death rattle? Why death rattle? I was so confused, but I had the word in my brain today to use. Let me see if I can find it. Ah. 1 second. Girl, y'all really gonna do this? Y'all really gonna do this? Why were you like the first result yesterday, but today you don't want to pop up? I think it was like RALE. Yeah. And it was like death rattle. I was like, what? Death rattle? Oh? Yeah, death rattle. I'm like, can I get the little pronunciation button, please? I wonder if I highlight this, if it will speak it. Raul Dagoni? Girl, why do you speak so quickly? I don't know. The Raul Dagoni. The Raul Dagoni. It's that death rattle, girl. She's like, you know? And we ain't got no time for like 100 years later. Toxic masculine energy rises from the ashes and a hero comes back. Like that whole Ganon and Link thing and multiple incarnations across many timelines. Girl, go on the ground and stay in the ground. Maybe in a different timeline, sure. Go wild. On the ones that I'm living in, I'm good, thanks. Okay, so just the last message. Just the final message, just wrapping it up. What do we got? Okay. Those may be in reverse now. Oh, goodness. This deck wants so bad wants to have reversals. Okay, sure. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. It's the Lovers. Okay, this may be our divine feminine energy coming through. Yeah, divine feminine energy was like, yeah, I ain't giving room to that toxic masculine energy no more. He does. We got the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, but that's about choices, so, we'll see. We got 2 cards that came out. The 5 of Coins and the Chariot. So, meet me on the battlefield of love is just what I heard. First it was like meet me on the battlefield, and then it was like of love. The 5 of Coins and the Chariot. That almost looks like an eclipse within this Chariot card. Because of the little rays around that sun or moon or whatever. Is that even the right card? No. doesn't it? Y'all see the... Yeah, it almost looks like an eclipse. I think that is an eclipse, and we just had the eclipse in Cancer on the solar solstice. The wheel has been set in motion. Things will come to be. Don't fall into the illusions of separation or allow a perceived lack of self-worth and there's this perception of limited seating or a space, an absence of space. Like there's no room for this. Don't fall into the illusion of that. And I don't think it is. Last time I saw the Five of Pentacles, it's like an after energy. It was like before you were holding on so tightly to these pentacles that you couldn't receive anything. But with this Chariot energy, and through all the healing and growth you've done, it's like you're more open and vulnerable than you've ever been. And with this Five of Pentacles, it's about us letting go of the things that we can't nurture and that we can't support. It's about coming into that divine feminine worth, right? And seeking out cooperation and seeking to aid energies like energies. And once you open yourself up to that, then you open yourself up to receiving the abundance that you have in store for you. So, I love that. But that toxic masculine energy will really have you convinced that you're not good enough and that you don't have a place. And that is not the case at all. Okay, divine masculine energy. Or distorted feminine energy, I guess. Because, you know, since I shouted out toxic masculine energy, I gotta shout out distorted feminine energy too. Toxic... No. No. Divine masculine energy. Is there something that you want to conclude this message with? Just love yourself and love each other, is what divine masculine energy wants to say. Love yourself and love each other. And express that love. Don't be afraid to express the love that you hold in your heart. Because that's where we shine from. Whoa. Alright, two more. Oh, I'm loving how this is shuffling today. I'm really loving the feel of these. Okay. Divine masculine energy. What you got? I know you've been silenced for a while. Just like that divine feminine energy, Hanky. Girl. I know you got a lot to say, but that is too much. We'll look at it. We'll look at it. I can't silence it after saying it's been silenced. I can't. I'm sorry, okay? I can't do it. I see strength, though. This is a lot of cards. First card out is the Sovereign of Coins. The Sovereign of Coins is the energy of the Queen of Coins. And this is about the things that have been created that have yet to come to be. I'm feeling this as like there's been some background cooperation between divine masculine and divine feminine energy in the womb of the earth, and it's about to give birth. I don't know if y'all can see that, but if I turn this off, let's see. There we go. So it's about all of this work that's been done in the womb of the earth between, you see these two hands between masculine and feminine energy and these sacred spaces of creation that are now going to come to be with the Sovereign of Coins energy. And it's only going to come to those who cultivate the same sort of energy within them, because like frequencies attract. Next is Judgment. And we have these many hands that are bringing down all of these eyes with these, with the wings on top, right? And with all of these hands... Again, it's sort of giving me that energy that as enough people come into this, first we blast through to create the portal, and then we strengthen it and we increase its power by resonating at that level. That's the Judgment that gives way for this divine energy to come in and then we anchor it and we seed it into the world, and then it radiates outward from there. And it's the radiating outward from there on the surface that also causes to these things being created, that cause to those things being created at the core, and it brings them to the surface as well. So we get this cooperation between the divine feminine Mother Earth energy and that Father Sky divine masculine energy when we create, when we reach out, grab it, and also when we're grounded in it, right? And then through us, it can really come to the surface and change things. Now, we also have the Ace of Swords, which is about the knowing and the understanding. This is brand new information. It's a brand new path. It's about showing folks a new way, right? Through our lived sort of testimonies. Next is the Lovers, and we've already talked about them. So again, as you cultivate that energy within yourself, you can call to it from outside of yourself. And it's like your testimony will be your love. But not only the love that you have, but also how you act from that space of love. The compassionate action, how you give back, all kinds of stuff like that, right? After that comes out the Ace of Wands, which is, again, the action that's going to be sort of taken. Girl, there we go. The action that's going to be taken. And I guess at this point I can kind of sort of switch these. So give me one moment. Yeah, since like we're up here anyway. There's this Ace of Wands. And this is the action that results from the Lovers, right? It's like loving each other is fine, and that's a part of what you get to experience, and that's actually a part of your mission. I feel like if you are someone whose love is an example to others, like a pure love, then part of your mission is actually loving each other and enjoying your life. Because the more you love each other and enjoy your lives, again, the more you sort of like anchor in that energy and that frequency. And then stuff like that, it's infectious. People see it and they want it. And when you also put out actions, right? And this could be like community service, your work, whatever, however you express compassionate action, it's through that they may sort of get one from a point of envy and jealousy to like, wow, like what can I do within myself to get that, right? Then next we have the Five of Swords. Now the Five of Swords has been a very like sort of stand your ground type of card for me. Ever since the angel spread on this channel, it's like Spirit is going to put you through the Five of Pentacles, and you need to combat the Five of Pentacles from Spirit with the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Pentacles from Spirit is going to be a withdrawal. They may pull away in some ways to lead you sort of in this unknown space. But with the Five of Swords, it's like stick to everything that you already know, right? Like you've already been trained in the sword. You already know what to do. Just because the supervisors go away doesn't mean it's time to start acting off, acting up, or goofing off, right? It's keep doing it. And then we have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands, to me, it's also in the same configuration on the Five of Wands. At the top of the Five of Wands, we see these Two of Wands. And so this is very radiant. The Two of Wands is usually, or it can be like a crossroads. But with this Two of Wands, when it comes to all of this divine energy, there's a different thing that is sacrificed. So it's almost like with this Two of Wands, you can have it all if you choose to, and if you work in a way to get that. It's about finding that sweet spot between everything, right? And then immediately after that, we have the Star. So exactly, all of your wishes coming true, and not you trying to dictate and determine and decide which wishes you want to come true and which ones you want to give up. It's like it's possible to work in this energy to get everything that you wanted and more. And that's really going to be your testimony. But don't be fooled. It will require strength. Now here we see at the top the sun, at the bottom the moon. We see the sun, the masculine, injecting the moon, the feminine, with this light. And the light that the masculine puts into the feminine is us, right? We are the stars, through the stars, right? And then when this was in reverse, it was like the star was being born into the sun. But now it's the moment of conception, right? Just like I talked about earlier. Now is the moment of conception. These times are the moments of conception when, even with the world looking like whatever it looks like, we choose to Five of Swords, stand our ground, and stay true to ourselves regardless, right? And with that divine feminine energy, we choose to act from a space of our worth and wait for what it is that we know is for us. And with that divine masculine energy, again, the patience is the balance. And so we sort of see this patience on both sides. But there's a difference between like being patient from a place of worth and being patient because you have to be. Now, next is the Nine of Cups. So again, off of that star energy, everything you could have wished for and more, complete fulfillment within yourself. That's also going to call to fulfillment outside of yourself. It's very door to romance, angel of love from yesterday type of energy, where when we have that self-love again, like frequency is attracted to us. And we could have been in a like frequency sort of situation, and then when the other pole of that polarity sort of evolved, if we were in a like frequency situation, then it could have triggered something within us to also evolve, right? And that's one aspect of this mirroring. When used in lighter aspects, it doesn't always have to be negative, and it doesn't have to be competitive. It's like one inspires the other. And I feel like that's kind of sort of, again, coming into this Nine of Cupsy type energy. And we're ending it with the Hierophant. We get the keys to the kingdom because of our experiences and because of what we've demonstrated both in times of light and in times of dark, right? It's the masculine persona that we put out, but also the feminine reality that we live within ourselves and in our private lives. This is the Taurus that is opposite to Scorpio, where Scorpio is everything occult, Scorpio is everything hidden, everything behind closed doors. Taurus is how we sort of like live those commitments where other people can see, right? It's like the Scorpio is behind closed doors, the Taurus is outside, in front of closed doors, right? Whew, that was a lot. I hope that made sense. I feel like it did. And since that was so much, I got to get like 1 or 2 cards because that was way too many. So, are you done? It's like, I got a lot more to say, bruh. Like, that's the tip of the iceberg. Believe me. Believe you me. But the rest will remain hidden. Not hidden, but waiting for you to experience it on your own. Because there are some things that just like the pictures and the stories just don't do the majesty of what it actually is justice. And this is one of those things. It's to be lived and it's to be experienced. And for those of us and you who chose to do the hard work, expect greater rewards. For those who chose to do any work at all, expect some rewards. But for those who chose to stop doing their work or who stepped away from the path that they had set themselves on, you will be compensated, fairly. Everything is fair. Everything is anything that comes will be what is deserved. So again, it's not like a matter of entitlement, what you feel entitled to. It's going to be like, well, did you actually do the work to get whatever you think that was yours? And there are so many different ways to do the work. Doing the work is so unique because all of our paths are so unique. And as long as we're continuously growing on our path and we're continuously moving forward, we're in the right direction. So again, it's like, don't look at what somebody else's work is and then try to compare it to yours and be like, well, I'm not doing as much work as that person, so, and feel down on yourself. But at the same time, don't look at somebody else and be like, well, I'm doing more work than that person, and get this conflated sense of worth, conflated sense of what it is that you're going to get, because it's not comparative. It is so individual. All right. Now, the last message, please. I'm putting y'all away after this because I got stuff to do. Where did my lemonade go? I want some. I don't know if I just put those in reverse or not. This deck, like, I want to go in reverse too. This all upright business, girl. You got the book, and the book gives you reverse meanings. If you don't want to use your intuition. Okay. Let me straighten up my posture real quick again. I thought this was the death card for a second. The Sovereign of Wands. There's that Queen of Wands energy again. Hold up. No, that was the Conqueror. What was... Wait, what? Oh, this is the Conqueror of Wands. Okay. Here we see some snakes. Snakes. Yeah, there's a snake going up the wand. So there's an arrow here too. There's two arrows that cross each other. And then there's a snake crawling up the wand. Now, fire is an element of purification. Snake in this deck can symbolize evil. And so it's like it's a purification of that. Arrows represent swift movement, but they're in this sort of deadlock. And again, this is the message from divine masculine energy. And again, when it comes to the suit of wands, it's about integrity. It's about integrity of action to get what it is that we seek. The ends must justify the means. Or something like that. The means must justify the ends. Because I feel like the end is what you get at the end, and the mean is how you go about getting it. And so how you go about getting what you want has to justify what you want, but at the same time, what you want has to justify how you go about it, right? So if you want something good, you're going to have to do or take a more aligned path with good to get it as good dispensed. And so again, this is about, because when it comes to the ruler of wands, we have the snake biting its own tail, and that's integrity. That's a self-ego check. That's keeping ourselves in line as we go about getting what we want. And this card, the snake is going up to the fire with these arrows sort of crossed. And so it's like there's been this extra moment of pause to give extra time for us to purify how it is that we go about things, to keep our ego in check and to align our shadow and our light, so that it's like those pieces of the shadow will essentially keep themselves in check, because they also want the light, and they know that if they want the light, there are certain things that they have to do, and they have to cooperate in certain ways to get it. So that's that. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will go and in the whatchamacallit put a thing. Actually, before I shut this down, I'm just gonna go into the comments, or I'm gonna open this so I can just comment on it as soon as I finish and not have to wait for it to upload. Okay. I just saw a name I haven't seen in a while. And I was like, is this a notification, or y'all just letting me know that this person posted something? One moment, please. Un momento, por favor. How do I say chotomate kudasai? Chotomate. That's how you say it in Japanese. Chotomate kudasai. Chotomate. 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 Chotomate kudasai. Earworms. Alright, I'm in here. Chotomate kudasai. Chotomate. Ooh, that's a bit of a delay. But I'll see y'all later. Bye. Have a good one. And, you know, better times ahead for all of us. Better times ahead. And it's never too late to pick yourself up and get on your path. I love that. I love doing that.